My name is Chloe. I'm 29. My life, like many who work in a call center, begins when others ends. I take calls at night, solving people's problems while most are asleep. When my shift finishes, Seattle is already plunged into deep darkness. My small first-floor apartment in an old building is in a neighborhood with narrow, shadowy alleys, where few people are out after dark. My only companion on this lonely journey is my old, fluffy cat, Mr. Paws, who usually waits for me by the door, always ready for attention and food. The routine was the same every night. Leave the office, walk 3 blocks to the alley that cut short the path to my house. This alley was always especially dark, with the tall walls of old buildings blocking out the streetlights. One time, walking through it, I felt something unusual. A sharp, piercing cold shot through me to the bone, as if someone had opened an invisible freezer right in front of me. Simultaneously, I heard a strange, quiet but deep sound, like a stretching smile or a slow, deep click, coming from the depths of the shadows. It was low, almost vibrational. I shivered, looked around but saw nothing. Nerves, I thought, or just the wind playing with the tin roofs. I quickened my pace, trying to shake off that strange feeling. In the following nights, this sensation began to repeat. The cold returned, and the clicking sound, though faint, became increasingly distinct. My nerves started playing cruel tricks on me. I began to notice movement at the periphery of my vision. Something tall, thin, perfectly black, as if cut from the darkness itself, blending with the shadows. It never stepped into the streetlight, only appeared and vanished. Always at a distance, always watching. At first, I only saw it in that cursed alley. Then, one time, I noticed it near my building as I was approaching the front door. It stood by the old maple tree, where the shadow was deepest, and then simply dissolved. My cat, Mr. Paws, also started acting strangely. He was always very affectionate and sociable, but now, when I came home, he often hid under the couch or behind the curtains, hissing at empty corners of the room. His eyes were wide with fear, and his fur stood on end. I tried to calm him, but he wouldn't come to me, continuing to stare at what I thought was emptiness. This was unlike him, and it only heightened my unease. I started leaving the hallway light on, and at night I often woke up at the slightest rustle. The terror escalated when the creature began to act more actively and personally. I started hearing its breathing, a deep, raspy breath, as if coming from my own lungs, but it wasn't mine. I felt its presence outside my apartment door, even when the lock was tightly double-bolted. I pressed my ear to the door, and I thought I heard a quiet, creaking sound, as if something was slowly moving on the other side. One night, as I was already asleep, my phone vibrated, waking me. I reached for it and saw it was a random, unknown number. When I answered, all I heard from the speaker was a hissing sound, like radio static, and then that same clicking sound I'd heard in the alley, only much louder and clearer. I dropped the phone, and it shattered on the floor. My heart was pounding frantically. I started finding small, strange objects near my doorstep or under my window. Broken bird bones, white and sharp, as if carefully cleaned. Strange, curved sticks, arranged in unknown symbols, like runes, but unlike any I'd seen. I felt that the creature was trying to communicate with me or leave messages. It was terrifying because I couldn't understand what it wanted. I tried to change my route home, avoiding the alley, taking a longer path down lit streets. But the creature still appeared, as if knowing my every move. I saw its silhouette on the next street, then around the corner of the building, as if it was just waiting for me, no matter where I showed up. My life turned into constant fear. Every night was a test. I stopped sleeping, constantly checking doors and windows, and Mr. Paws now rarely left his hiding spot. The climax came on one particularly eerie night. I was returning home late, and the streets were deserted. As I entered the same alley where it all began, the streetlights suddenly went out. Complete darkness, so thick I couldn't see my own hand. I felt the creature approaching me, very fast. Its breath, raspy and cold, felt close, and the clicking sound became too loud. It was like someone was breaking bones right next to my ear. Panic seized me. I ran, stumbling, to my building's door, desperately trying to unlock it with trembling hands. The keys barely turned. I could hear it was very close now. The moment I opened the door and flew into the apartment, I saw a long, thin, perfectly black limb stretch through the doorway, trying to grab me. But I made it. I slammed the door shut with such force that the lock seemed to crack. Outside the door, there was a loud, frustrated screech that turned into a dull roar, and then, absolute silence. I stood by the door, trembling with fear, my heart pounding like crazy. I knew I was safe, but not for long. I knew the creature was still there, beyond the door, and it would wait. I will never be able to return to a normal life, always living in fear that the shadow will return, or that it will find another way to reach me. My haunting had only just begun, because now I had seen this creature. I know that every night will be a test, and one day this shadow might find its way to me. I look out the window, see only the darkness of the alley, and know that my peace was just an illusion.